All right, it's time for an Out and About with Jamie Grout Shortcast, and this is where we talk with Carol Kramer, who had Kramer Park named after her and her late husband Fritz. And I'm excited to talk about her being on the Jasper County Conservation Board. How many years has it been,
I have
Carol?
been on this board since 1986, so it's been a long, long time.
Okay, so why the interest in Jasper County Conservation Board and nature?
I grew up on the reservation. I grew up among the trees and the plants and the animals, and lived in the woods through the season when rice camps and berry picking camps and that sort of thing. So the outdoors and nature has always been in my heart.
And it has to do with your Native American upbringing.
Exactly, because when we moved from camp to camp, it was all with other Indian families.
Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit more about your background in that, Carol.
Well, I was born on the White Earth Reservation in 1937, and I was actually given an Indian name. And
what was that?
That Wabascunagines.
Okay.
And that means little unripe blueberry, because I was light-skinned for a little Indian baby. And then when you go to school, then you have to have your regular name. But I was called Wabascunagines for when I was little. Mm-hmm. And then I became Carol.
Okay.
And then we went to an Indian school with all white teachers.
It was kind of interesting how you made food. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we'd go ricing. Okay. You know, we'd out in camp, and my mother and dad would go out in a canoe. My dad would have a push pole to push back, and my mother would be in the front, and she had these sticks, and she would pull the rice over and whack it into the boat. And then to finish it, you'd have to bring it in because it comes out like wheat. And you lay it on a canvas and you let it dry, and then you have to parch it over fire and keep it moving until you get the everything parched. And then you have to jig it or get the hulls off. And then you have to fan it. So it's quite a process to get to the finished rice. And I don't think people really appreciate that, but I certainly do. And I still get my manomin, that's wild rice, from the reservation.
Why is nature so important to Native Americans?
It's because we are part of it. And we talk about the animals as brothers and sisters. We would get our life from the outdoors. And we were free to move around. It wasn't until the Indians were America, which was not America then, but it was kind of taken over by Chimukaman, by the white man, and he kind of would cage us up where we were never in reservations, and that was never a part of our life as we were growing up.
Carol, what did it mean to you when you heard that the park was going to be called Kramer Park?
I was totally humbled by it. In fact, I just thought, why don't they just name it Newton Park? But I'm very flattered, and I realize now how much it meant to my daughters and to my grandchildren to have that. I only wished Fritz had been there, but I think he was there in spirit.
Tell us about Fritz and how you think he'd feel about this honor.
Oh, he would be so proud. He would be so happy. He'd be happy for me, actually. And he's been a lover of nature, and we both have. Our vacations have always been at our cabin or in the woods or doing outdoor things.
Well, what do you hope will be when the Nature Education Center opens up, the ribbon cutting? I know that you hope to have it open by November.
I hope so. And I want it to be a place for children. Very, very much so. I think it's important that children understand about nature, and this will be a good place for them to learn and appreciate.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, you've been on the board for a number of years now, and this is just fantastic that it's been named after you and your late husband Fritz. And I know that they're still raising funds for this also.
We certainly are, because we're not going to be finished. Once you get a structure, you still have things to finish inside. We still have upkeep to do. So I am still hoping that we can still get contributions for it.
You bet. Yeah, yeah. bigger and better. We want to educate people about nature, and I know that that's a passion for you, and it
Yes.
would be for Fritz. I know, as you say, that he's smiling down on all this and,
That's
and
right.
pretty excited about the whole thing. So
Yes.
thank you, Carol. We
Well,
appreciate it.
thank you for asking
Yeah,
me.
well, and of course you can get a hold of the people, Jasper County Conservation. I know that they're in it's called, I guess, the Annex Building, which used to be
Yes.
the National Guard Armory. You and I
That's
probably
right.
remember that from years
Yes.
back. And it's quite an honor. They deserve the honor, the Kramers, and it's going to
And
be quite a
I
deal.
would do a big shout out for our director, for Carrie Van Zandt.
Yes.
She is absolutely wonderful and
Yes.
leading this, really.
You betcha. Carrie does a great job,
Yeah.
as do all the folks at Jasper County
Oh, yes.
Conservation. You
and,
betcha.
And the people on the board they're all dedicated people.
They do a great job.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us on this Out and About with Jamie Grout Shortcast. We appreciate it. And if you want to hear the long form version of my chat with Carol Kramer, you can check that out on outandaboutwithjamiegrout.com, on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, along with iHeart, and of course, Apple Podcasts. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.